square in the eye and you're going to battle. And it's really hard and it's wearing you out. And some of you are winning the battle. Some of you not. And then there's this relational conflict. In a lot of marriages, you're longing for that intimacy and you don't have peace on all sides. Some of you have court dates in the near future, and other people that you don't even know are going to decide your immediate future. That's terrifying. There is a side of your life where there is no peace, there is no rest, because you're struggling with that. Some of you are starting to deal with aging parents. I have a friend who traveled home this weekend, and the last time he saw his dad just a few months ago, his dad was healthy and walking around. His dad's had some physical events since then, and as he goes back home this weekend, he'll find his dad in a wheelchair. I got to play golf yesterday with my friend Drew. We were out at Possum Kingdom Lake. It's a beautiful golf course on the cliffs there. And we're driving up one fairway in the golf cart. About 30 little deer run out into the middle of the fairway. And then they kind of scooted over to the rough on the left, and many of them just lay down. Some were just grazing there. And I looked at them, and they were at rest. They didn't have any concerns. They weren't worried about anything. There was no turmoil in their life. They had rest, like on all sides. Until Drew drove the golf cart right through the middle of them. And as we came up over the rise and went right through the middle of them, they started to scamper and scatter, and they were frantic. And isn't it remarkable how you can be at rest for a moment, for just a little while? You can be at rest. You can breathe, like in, out, in and out. You can close your eyes. You can feel the sun on your face. You can actually be silent for 4 or 5 minutes, and your mind is not filled with anxiety and conflict and chaos and struggle. You're actually at rest. That you can be in that place, and all of a sudden this golf cart comes out of nowhere, and you're frantically running around again. And wouldn't it be awesome? Just imagine, wouldn't it be awesome if we could have rest on all sides at all times? That would be good, wouldn't it? Does that sound good? That sounds good. Well, of course, it is possible. I wouldn't have set up my sermon like that if it wasn't. And I'm going to show you why. So starting in chapter 4, verse 1, we see that the promise of rest still stands. That this is what he wants us to get out of this text. The promise of rest still stands. He starts with the word therefore. So let me just stop. Therefore reminds us of the preceding context. The preceding context is Hebrews chapter 3. Let me just remind you of what happened in Hebrews chapter 3. The author says, you know what, there was this whole generation of Israelites. They came out of Egypt into the wilderness. They got to the promised land, to the place of rest. And right there, as they were ready to go in, they disobeyed. How did they disobey? They refused to trust God. And they said no, and they did not enter his rest. And this whole generation missed out on God's best because of their lack of faith. It says in verse 19, because of their unbelief. They refused to trust God. In that text, he quotes Psalm 95. And in Psalm 95, David says, this rest is still available. Enter into this rest.